What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grim series. Today's episode is number 2, and we're going to talk only about the Grim 1, right? So we're going to flip it over and tweak some knobs on the inside, and we'll do some comparisons there. Quick rundown on everything. Across the top, we have low, blend, and gain. This is going left to right. On the next row down, we've got bass, treble, and bite. Now, the bite control is kind of like a mid-shift. On the inside of the pedal, and I'll flip it over. So on the inside of the pedal, the top blue potentiometer up in that top corner. See if I can get this thing to show you guys. Oh, we'll do it this way. So on this potentiometer right here on the inside, this is a tone control. All right, now this is kind of going to be more towards like your standard tone control on a regular tube screamer. What happens, from what I understand, is as you adjust it, it is before it gets to the tone stack. All right, so this affects how the tone stack reacts to the pedal. And then, of course, we have the bite control, which adds some more of that mid flexibility or the mid shift. The tone control kind of announces how much of that mid hump is there based on the fixed EQ curve. And then, of course, down here at the bottom, this far right potentiometer here, this one is for the brightness of the LED. The one right here, this one is for the impedance, and this one over here on the left is for the dry boost. So I'm going to put all the settings back at noon. Kind of redo this over here. I'm going to leave the bite where it's at. So we have a high cut and a low cut. My low cut is all the way counterclockwise, fully to the left. My high cut is fully clockwise, so all the way to the right. And what this does in that position is allows all the low end and all the upper high end to pass through, so there's nothing being filtered out. All right, in the middle we have our 3-way toggle switch. On this one it is left and right. In the far left position, this is our LED clipping. In the middle, this is our clipping lift, or there's no clipping. And then for the far right, it is to the silicon diode. So we're going to put the treble at noon. We'll put the bass back at noon. I'll leave the level all the way up. The blend knob. Now this is the only one that's really going to have any major effect to it once we start messing with that dry boost. And for the gain, I'm going to turn it all the way down. We are going to put the blend all the way down as well. So what I'll do is I'll switch over so that we can hear the ISO cab instead of the room mic. And we'll play a little bit. I'll tweak the knob. We'll play a little bit, and we'll kind of A-B it that way. So here we go. Now, one thing I want to note is, as you tweak the dry boost, all right, it's mostly only going to affect the blend knob when it is in the down position. So as we dial this up, you start to lose that dry boost because it's becoming a wet signal. So that's the only way you're really going to notice it. And then all the way in the down position like it is now, with the pedal off and on, there's almost no boost at all when it's all the way down. I think I have it up about halfway at the moment, so let's go ahead and start tweaking some knobs. All right, so again, the dry boost now, all the way counterclockwise, all the way off. right, so as you can see, the dry boost really start losing, any effect after that 9 o'clock. So what I'll do is I'll flip it over. I'm going to max it out all the way. All right, so now that potentiometer is fully clockwise all the way to the right. Let's see how it does. All right, so there's a massive difference. Now again, it doesn't really affect anything as you dial this up. So for example, I'll show you. So that's all it does. It doesn't really affect it a whole lot once you dial it past that 9 o'clock position. And since I leave the blend knob maxed out, it's all a full wet signal anyways. So the dry boost really won't affect the pedal kind of on any of them. But if you like to have some of that clean blend in there, some of that attack from a clean signal, that's where that is really going to come into play. And we'll mess with that a little bit more later. So let's go ahead and check out the tone control. Right now mine is set about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, give or take. And so what I'll do is I will just kind of basic strum. We'll turn it all the way down. Matter of fact, we'll go ahead and turn it all the way down now. All right, so that is fully clockwise, counterclockwise. Here we go. All right, so now we have it fully clockwise, so it's all the way up. All right, so that is the tone control. That was one of the big features I always enjoyed about the Grimm 1. You still had that standard tone control, but and I do get it mixed up. I tend to call it a mid shift, even though it's not. But let's play with the clipping now. So I'm going to leave the tone control kind of where it's at. If you want to think about it on a standard tube screamer, don't know if I have one. Yep. We'll just kind of use this one as an example. So in this scenario, you've got the level maxed out, and then the gain would be the taste. Of course, and this is 9 o'clock. It would be kind of set similar to that there, which is 1 o'clock maxed out, and then 9 o'clock. Same concept. So let's go. That is the Grimm 1. That is all of the big, well, that's pretty much all the features. Of course, you have your high cut, your low cut. Again, your low cut is a high pass filter, and your high cut is a low pass filter. So basically, you just kind of, how much of that cut are you going to, add in. A high cut filter or your low cut filter is sometimes called a tight knob. So the tight knob is doing the exact same thing on some pedals. Of course, different vendors call them different things. So it's a high pass filter, a low cut, or a tight. All three of those are interchangeably the exact same thing. They're just named differently depending upon how it is. So for example, you'll notice on the Grimm 1, it says low cut. On the Grimm 2, it says HPF, which is your high pass filter. And then on the Grimm 3 and the boomstick, it is called tight. That's the same function, different names. Doesn't matter? Nah, probably not. At first, it was a little confusing, but of course, you start to figure it all out. And then just like your low pass filter, it's the exact same thing. So some people will call it a high cut, or a treble cut, or a high pass filter, or a low pass filter, or an LPF. So it's the same thing again. So that's the Grimm 1. That was the LED clipping, the diode clipping, and the no clipping. That was the dry boost, and then the tone control. All right, so thanks for watching episode number 2. Next up, we will talk about the Grimm 2, and then we'll start to keep going on from there. So tell me what you think so far. We'll see you in the next one.